the fun subjects.
Oh, daddy. Ooh. A little deep dive. A little rabbit hole. A little digging. The old, how we like to put this, occult knowledge.
Yeah, let's talk about that.
Oh.
Let's just get right to it.
Like, I don't know, man. The Epstein thing was like really big for me.
Okay.
Cause like, I really got into conspiracies.
No.
Maybe 2.5 years before Epstein's arrest.
Okay.
And that's when I really, but like I went hard in the paint. I went like Neo, just downloading everything at once. I wanted all the kung fu. I wanted all the techniques. I needed to know about the Rothschilds, the fucking Rockefellers. I needed to know about Freemasons.
Okay.
Jesuits, like that's huge shit right there. Mm-hmm. Especially in a town like Toronto where you can argue it's a totally Jesuit like operated town. Mm. From like its biggest university to its like biggest buildings.
Can't argue that.
Yeah, it's just no.
Yeah.
And anyone who's like this guy right now,
no, do your research.
They know that I may be just a little exaggerating right now. Sure, on some things, like if we're gonna talk about Bigfoot, but like for sure, we live in a system of control. And that's scary for a lot of people. But really, once you kind of start to see obvious things that are just plainly in our face. It's really hard to ignore it after a while, bro. But yeah, man, like, I love asking people like the Sam Tripoli Method, I call it, where it's just like you start from the top, like, who do you think shot JFK? Who do you think shot down Allen? You go like you gauge where they're all at.
That's what I like. That's what I like. Yes,
and then you're like, okay, can we now talk about this topic? Can you humor me on a flat earth conversation without like accusing me of being like a full out like this guy's a wacko? Like
okay,
like, okay, no, we're not even gonna go there. We're not gonna have that class today. So yeah, I love it. It's
fun.
Yeah,
it's fun.
Some people are like, don't listen to all of it. It's like, no, you can listen to all of it, but don't believe all of it. That's where you got to draw the line. You got to really, you wait for the topic and knowledge to absorb. And see how it filters through you, like in your brain and stuff. Like, okay, like how does this fall? Like now, like a year later after I first heard it, like is Bigfoot interdimensional? Like is Skinwalker Ranch like the real deal? Like, yeah, man.
Well, you know what? I'm sure
it's fascinating.
I absolutely agree with you. It's fascinating. It's entertaining. I thoroughly enjoy it. I'm sure I've voiced by now or will in the future my, views on certain things. I'm open to anything. You know what I mean? Ooh. It's like, and I find so much of it so entertaining that it's like for those who get so riled up for people entertaining these ideas, I'm like, calm down.
Yeah,
all right,
man.
All right. I was like, I'm not like like I said, I didn't go out and sell all my shit before 2012, but I had some fun wondering what would happen. Oh my goodness, this is wild.
I think people that aren't into conspiracies on any level whatsoever, like zero, they're. I don't want to be rude. But it's just like, how can you be so sure? And like about anything. Like,
damn right.
Just like
about anything in life. How can you be so sure about anything?
When someone presents you information, you're not like, okay, but I want to hear what that other person you were just talking about wants to say about it. It's like, you know what I mean? Like there's so many sides to all of these things, and just like we get like this small fraction of it. So it's like for us to like come to some type of a confirmation on an opinion, it's just like, how can you be so sure?
Damn fucking
you're
right,
willing
brother.
You're willing to bet your left nut in your right hand.
Yeah.
But how can you be so sure? And they're not. It's just. To those that laugh at like conspiracy theories.
Yeah.
Especially the most ridiculous ones, the ones where really when you like break it down, it comes down to like how much do you trust NASA? I say I just don't think it's what it is, man.
I am absolutely willing to entertain the ideas of not trusting NASA, not trusting things without seeing with your own eyes at times and stuff like that.
They say we went to the moon in 19
and that's when that's so many of us are willing.
Did you see the footage?
Well, it's like this.
Did you see pictures? It looks like a joke.
Plenty of people willing to, entertain the idea of the moon landing being fake. Not many people willing to entertain the idea of the Earth being flat, right? And me just saying that right now, plenty of people watching everything that you've said has people going, whoa, what the fuck? Well, calm the fuck down. What it is the idea of exactly as you put it, not trusting a system. And the idea of doing, as you said, Tripoli, the idea of that whole working your way down, and so you believed in this, you believed in that, you believed in this. Now, how about this?
And most of the time, people are they don't even realize it, dude. When you break down that little Tripoli system on them, they are conspiracy theorists.
Yeah,
it's more times than not, they're they don't believe the main story about 9/11. They don't believe that Lee Harvey Oswald was one dude who shot JFK.
Yeah.
They don't believe that there isn't other life out there. You know what I mean? It's just interdimensional or from space.
That's exactly it. That's okay. You just touched on one of my newest favorites. Exactly.
It's just it's hello, you're a conspiracy theorist. Just you're not vocal about it.
I love it. Good and evil, good magic. Light, dark, whatever. That idea of the occult and summoning spirits and angels. Mm-hmm. You ever had the urge to dabble into that?
I definitely know. I listen to a lot of podcasts that talk about that type of thing. So I'm pretty down with it. If that's the
I'll
question.
show you a podcast. Buddy's podcast, What Magic Is This? It's a great podcast right there. I'll show it to you.
I'm I'm fully on board with the mind's a more powerful thing than we've been ever taught.
Yeah.
And as an artist, as a guy who I take a blank piece of paper and I put I breathe life into it. That's some people could be back in the day. It's this guy's an alchemist. But I'm just I'm joking. But you know what I mean? It's just imagination is heavily involved with all these psychic operations. In my opinion, on a military level, they look for people with the biggest imaginations because they're the ones that can mentally manipulate things the most. And I'm not talking about a guy faking bending a spoon and he did it with his thing or whatever. I'm more on that 11 shit where it's just have you heard of Project Montauk?
Okay, the word rings a bell because somebody brought it up.
That's pretty much, I'm gonna butcher this. It's also the Philadelphia Project it's referred to, and because I don't have a year set in my mind, but pretty much it's a conspiracy. You have to look it up. It's Project Montauk, and it's a conspiracy theory talking about time travel and this giant naval ship going through a time vortex here on Earth, and sailors jumping off the ship on mid time riff and ending up melted to the ship and stuff that. Yeah, dude, you have to look into it. It's one of the biggest conspiracy theories.
That's interesting. I love it.
People argue that's because it goes into some next level technology where aliens left this helmet or this chair, or maybe there's a chair and a helmet, and some people sit in it and they have crazy psychic they can see dictators talking to other diplomats and it's yeah, dude, it's so insane. And it is one of the coolest conspiracy theories. And there's a chick that came out and said yeah, 11's based off me. Okay. Yeah, Project Montauk. Yeah, so I said a lot of stuff at once. There was a ship that accidentally went through a time rift or whatever, and the ship ended up in a different year or some shit. And I know just saying that sounds
no, I'm liking it.
There's there's a lot more to it, and then I said, it goes on to this alien technology, or maybe it's not alien technology, but it's technology where they describe stuff where it's they go into water, a pool, and in Stranger Things, she goes into water and shit, where she's trying to
oh
yeah, and that's another thing where they use media to bleed in these subliminal things that they I call it a karmatic relief, where they're just they're telling us everything they're doing it, but then they're calling it a fictional story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That term you just used right there, that's been brought up a few times recently, and And I think it's an interesting fucking rabbit hole to go down.
Yeah.
Because then that brings life into all sorts of things.
They're always there too, the rabbit holes. So I'm never really in a rush to learn too much about something. Like, the information's not going anywhere. Well, nowadays,
that's actually a good point, though. Is it the
censorship is getting really bad right now?
Man.
So it's like, and they do like censoring conspiracy stuff on YouTube.
It's happening right now.
I'm thankful for the people that disagree with me.
I like when people disagree with you, but I like when they're willing to listen. And the thing is
That's
that
true.
For me to be, as some know, like, so open to all these things, it's not that I get fooled into things easily. It's not that I've been, fucking scammed and hustled into things. I'm not that type of person, but I do enjoy listening to far-fetched, wild fucking ideas.
Totally, man.
Yeah.
It's just like a way more beautiful world. The world where it's just like there's a possibility that there's like absolute crazy shit happening, and it's like I totally lean towards it.